let's now move on to the next segment, which is when John was live this morning. So he had this sponsor called Slim Foods, Slim Food, and this sponsor dropped him. So people were just like in the comments kept on writing Slim Food, Slim Food.
They're trolling him.
In this morning's live, John was there with an empty bottle of wine in the background. So, he's
Jeez.
spiraling out of control. And he was constantly going on about how Amazon would never refund people. So, he was not in the best shape. But then at one point, it was like, get your cameras out and screen record this. I'm going to talk about Slim Foods.
Get
So
your
I was like,
cameras out as
okay,
if
dude.
like that's how people screenshot things. Get your cameras out and
Well, I don't know
record.
if he said it that way.
Oh,
Maybe
okay.
that's just me. But you'll see, he says it because I think I took it out before that because I was like, I saw it coming. But
Interesting.
by the end of this video, like he realizes, he realizes at the moment of genius, being like, "Fuck, I've said too much," like,
It's like, oh
and he
no.
just very abruptly closed the live. But I think we need to watch this because it's very telling.
Okay. And this is the one that you exclusively have screen recorded. This is like
Yes,
because
this
you
is
were there
breaking
live.
news.
Breaking news.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get full screen. Hold on.
No, I guarantee it. Skinny Food won't want me telling this. But I'll say it anyway. But I guarantee it, they won't want me saying what I'm going to say. I'll say it then. Right, so you listening? You ready? You sat down? So basically what it was, there's no way Skinny Food can actually fucking disagree with this. So if you want to screen record, start doing it now. You ready?
Oh man.
I'm not going to read no comments by the way, because they just can't be asked. So what it was with Skinny Food, right? Do I like them as a brand? I actually think some of the food is alright. Some of the stuff that they sell is fucking bang on. It's great. I love some of the products. Do I love them all? No. I don't love all the products. There's no way you can love all of somebody's products because you just can't do it. So I was being completely honest on social media. I was saying things and I said, listen, at the end of the day, I don't like this product, love this product, not really keen on that, blah, blah, blah. And they weren't too happy about me saying certain things.
Okay, so what I've understood so far, because he's a little slurry for, well, I think reasons that he's pointing out in the background, and also his accent, for me, it's hard to place it, but he's saying Slim Foods was an okay brand. I like certain products, but certain products I didn't, and I was being honest about that on social media, and they didn't like that. That's what I heard.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
that's like the summary. He's like, if you want to screen record, this is the part to screen record.
yeah.
That's so funny. Self-aware king. That's
Yeah,
what he needs.
totally. Like just wait to see what's coming. He's talking about the contract and everything. Like,
Oh,
ooh.
so he's going like, okay, he's like, you want my
He's
insider
going deep.
secrets? Yeah, you want my insider secrets on sponsorships? Here you go. Okay, I like it. But like, okay, this angle, I feel like he's specifically having the wine bottle in the background to like show like, this is why I'm
Life.
doing this.
This is my life, Charlotte. You're
Yeah,
not
because
here.
it looks like very purposefully in the background for some reason. And he's wearing the same
Yeah.
shirt as he was in the other video, which was a different day, wasn't it?
I think that he's been drunk for a while.
She's on a bender. Okay.
Yeah.
Yikes. All right, continue.
So they said, this is not obviously for us. We don't really like what you're saying, blah, blah, blah. Which didn't really work out too well for them. But it gets worse. I don't give a shit if they fucking see this, read this, or whatever, because it's true. And I'll speak to James, the owner of the company. I'll speak to him myself, directly, face to face. So
Jay.
he turned round and said, so I just got a text message about it. He turned around and said that there were certain things that I was saying about the company which didn't really align with them, which I think is fair enough.
Fair enough.
And I completely agree. So they rung me with an offer, right? So they rung me with an offer of 150 grand. So 150 grand, which is what they offered me. I've got the fucking contract upstairs. I can just screenshot it and just bang it online. So 150 grand is what they offered me. And they said that they wanted me to say X, Y, and Z certain things. And I disagree with it because I said, no, phones were all like that. And I wanted to come away from it. I said no, it's not for me. I don't, I'm not massively. So the original contract that they come back with was, so the contract was, it was including VAT.
What? Included
And
what?
obviously,
B and C?
VAT. VAT is like a European, well, I don't know if it's just European, it's in the UK as well. VAT is a tax that is applied on things, on everything you buy.
Oh,
It's
okay.
about 20, it's 20%. I think it's been raised to 20%. It was like something like 17% before in the UK. In Romania, I think it's like 24%. Anyway, it's an extra tax. So this contract that he says he received, that he just didn't want to say the things for 150 grand. Okay. Because his
Sure.
followers wouldn't like it, but they would like this. Like
Yeah.
this is definitely on their liking. Um, yeah, so that included VAT, which means that he would get less. So deducting
Okay.
20%, that would be another 30 grand that would be on VAT tax.
On top of
So
it. Okay. Okay.
no, that would like be discounted
From the
from the
contract.
amount. So he would, if it's true that it was 150K, then he would have only received 120K because that amount included the VAT amount.
So he's going in the weeds. He's like, you want to know my tax return status? Like, this is what it was. Do you want to know like how long the royalties are? What percentage? I got it. You want my social security number? Well, hold on. Let me get my contract. I'll put it on the internet. Like, yeah,
And this
very
is the
much.
moment after this when he's just, you're gonna see it. He realizes I fucked up.
Okay.
Like
I'm
you just
waiting
see
for
it on
that.
his face.
The end, he's like, oh, that okay. If you were screen recording, now stop. That's the end. Promise me you won't keep recording now. Yikes. Okay, let's see it.
they, so it was VAT. No, hang on a minute. It was, I'm just trying to work it out here. Just, so
That's it, I think.
Okay. So he came to his senses for some reason, or he got a text or something that said like, "What are you
Yeah.
doing?" His mom's like, honey, quit it. I'm watching this from my iPad."
Yeah.
Okay, so very weird, just odd behavior, unhinged behavior, obviously. I think the alcohol probably, allegedly, I mean, there's bottles in the background, but let's say allegedly some sort of alcohol or some sort of substance consumed, possibly impairing his judgment here.
But like, aren't those just uninhibitors, or
Yeah,
yeah,
I think so.
uninhibitors, or they lower your inhibitions, so you're just more like, relaxed and stuff. But like, you're not gonna become a different person. Um,
Probably not. Yeah, I mean, not to the core of your being, probably. I mean, sometimes people say things they don't mean, really, but if this is like multiple days. But here's another theory I have about this that kind of ties into all of the stuff we talk about. It's like, this sounds like he needs a friend, right? Like, if you were to call, like, if someone were to call me that was going through like a hard time and was drunk and was like complaining about contracts or whatever, like, you could go, man, you need some help, or let me come over, or like, call me tomorrow, like, let's do whatever. But because we've developed these parasocial relationships on social media, from us to celebrities and even as influencers to their audience, they find it totally appropriate to like share these very intimate details about their monetary situation, about their life, about their children, about their marriage, about their breakups, about their feelings on like women in general. And it's like, I wonder if that's part of this narrative too, that this guy has 400,000 followers and zero real life friends.
I wonder, because like he's obviously been drinking alone, because that's why he would pull out his phone and start going live. But why would, that's another thing, why would, because he was going on and on about how much money he has, which I just don't really believe. Because, like, even if you look around the house and stuff, it looks
It
like,
looks regular, small, typical, not like, on the
yeah.
beach somewhere in a mansion.
And even I don't know if you can see the stuff that the wine bottle sits on. It looks like an old. Do you see that white
Yeah, a
thing? That's
doily.
like an old fashioned thing from like 50 years ago or something. So kind of,
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if this is like his parents' house that he received or something, or that he was living in. I
Yeah, it
don't
even
know.
has like you can even see like the wallpaper here in the top
Yeah,
corner. It looks like, yeah, like an older person style, perhaps, like a grandmother or something. That's the
yeah,
vibe
but
I'm getting.
he was saying that he makes like 14K a day and stuff like that. That's a lot of money, and I
Yeah,
don't believe it. I think he's like inflating numbers, but
probably.
at the same time, like if he gets 150K for a sponsorship, do you like can you just can you imagine that money? Because I can't even imagine that amount of money. Like that's
Mm-mm.
beyond my capabilities of comprehension.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's the thing. It's like I definitely we were talking this off camera before, but like to bring it publicly, like I struggle with feeling, worth people giving me money. Like that's definitely an issue I have financially. Like, oh, like asking people for money or even asking clients, like putting it in contracts. I just feel like this weird sense of like guilt. Like, don't charge anyone anything, and it's obviously not healthy. And I wish I couldn't charge or didn't need to charge people money because I'm like, oh, I know how hard it is to get money, so like don't worry about it. But then I would be like out on the street, and that's obviously not like a good solution either. So it's a very confusing thing. But yeah, when someone makes that much money from like one post or something, I can't even like grasp
Yeah,
how
yeah, I
that would
can't imagine that.
feel for me to do. I'd be like, oh my God, I'm so guilty about it. Like I couldn't take it. I would be like, no, I'll do it for free. I love your product. I'll just like, I'll pay you to promote it. Like, I don't know. I got
Yeah,
issues.
I'm so like offended that he got offered this much money because I find it just offensive considering that I never got more like $200 on a sponsorship. I'm like,
Same.
it's not makes no sense that they would pay him that much. And then this is the kind of people that receive those sponsorships, just
It,
look at him. Like he's a wreck.
yeah, I don't get it. I mean, it must work, I suppose. But then a part of me is like, does it work? Because half people have influencers, they're fake followers anyways. Like they bought the followers or somehow, I don't know. Maybe that's not true. But like we know for a fact that engagement on social media and followers does not equate sales.
Sales. Yeah.
That's been proven
But
time
I
and time
don't
again.
think I mean, obviously, like with marketing and stuff, I don't think it's all about sales. Sometimes it's also about just like creating the image of the company and just like making sure that people know of it. And so there's that, and I think that's why they
That's
paid
true.
me, for example, $200 because nobody was expecting any sales from that. So
Just
I think it's just
awareness. Yeah.
awareness, yeah. And people, and once you hear it and see it many times, and it's you always heard of it with like good reviews, or it was just pushed on you and you had these like associations that it's a good company, later on down the line you're more likely to buy. And I think this is why so much money is pushed into market, and I think it works. um it's a la long, but
Yeah.
still 150K, even
It's a lot.
including VAT. That's something that is so crazy to me.
That's like not a 9,000, like 9.5, well, $9,500 a month about, right? Because like I know that 100,000 a year is 8,300 a month.
Don't know what this.
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
I only know
But
that because I'm like, okay, hypothetically, if I want to make $100,000, you have to make like about 8,000
this is
something a
also
month.
in pounds, so that would be way
Oh,
more
even
in
more.
dollars.
Oh.
Um,
So yeah, he's
so
making like 10 grand a month at the minimum for one sponsorship. If you were to like say,
yeah,
okay, we're gonna pay you out annually $150,000, which is still an amazing salary. That's only one little portion of your income. That's pretty good.
yeah.
You're gonna be living a good life. You're gonna be living that Jay Shetty life very shortly if you make that
But
money.
that's not. I don't know if that's true
I don't
because
know either.
I
Yeah,
don't know if he's telling the truth. But if he is telling the truth, then it's crazy the amount of money that influencers get paid.
yeah.
It's just
I
crazy.
mean, I don't know. I don't know to believe people or not because like I'm like, oh my God, how is that possible? But then people like the people that I never believe, which I'm questioning whether I should or not, are the people who like, I charge $100,000 for coaching on manifestation, and I made $7 million last year. It's amazing. I'm like, is that a lie? Because obviously they're selling how to teach you how to make money. Like Dean Graziosi saying, I'll teach you how to be a millionaire while he's living in his car. Like, that's lying. But like, I don't know. But then again, he did make that money later. I don't know. I never know.
I think at least with this guy, um, he said it so many times. Like everyone in the comments was like, "Why do you keep telling us about how much money you make? We don't care." Like, um,
We want
I think there's
recipes.
like a level of insecurity about it. So I feel like
Yeah.
if he was really making that amount, like 14K a day, like he said, and he had a sponsorship of 150K and stuff, I don't think he would like he would need to scream it off to, like
Yeah. That's a
you don't
lot.
need to say it when you're like fine. I think you
Unless
need to
he
say it when you're
does.
insecure.
Yeah.
And
Unless he
yeah,
does make
yeah,
it and it's not good. Like it didn't change anything. You know, like you make the money that you think you need and then you're still unhappy. So you're like, oh shit, now what? Like my goals have been surpassed and I'm still feeling like absolute garbage. Like, then I think that's
yeah.
what leads people to start ranting on Instagram.
Yeah, probably. It's because it is quite sad if you are making that kind of money and then your girlfriend still dumps you and you still are alone and drunk at 7 a.m. and with no friends, so you have to go live. That is still, you're still living a sad life.
Yeah. Money's and
And
everything,
he's
for sure.
clearly kicking everyone. Should we watch some of the other one where he's
Yeah,
just, uh,
we should.
maybe that one also has like captions.
We'll see. I don't know if it's going to be helpful or worse. Hold on. Let me get my. There it is. Okay. This one, he looks like he just got freshly punched. I
Yeah.
sort of have sympathy for him in a way, in a weird way. Like, because, this is it's so overtly horrible that, like, you must, like, as you're saying, if you're not aware that, like, this is career ending, there's something mentally wrong, So it's almost like he's either not aware of how bad it is because he's, like, inebriated or whatever, or he doesn't care, which means he has no self-worth at this point. And so both situations are sad.
Yeah.
I think the bigger conversation is like, why on social media and what does this mean about us consuming it? And like, how do we deal with like seeing stuff like this? Like, it's very hard to now know what to feel.
It's a lot more disturbing than I thought. When I first heard, like I first read about it in the news, so I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go and watch it. And once I started watching, I was like, ooh, okay, this is this is bad. Like the news don't quite capture the essence of just how bad this is.
Yeah, like he said some bad things. Like he obviously disrespected women, and like he's unhinged for sure. But I think the wider context of this is like this guy has got issues, and he needs help, and he doesn't look like he has a support group of friends, or at least they're not getting through to him because he's doing
Yeah.
this publicly. Maybe this is his cry. Like before, I think cries for help were like, private things, like you might do something or cheat on somebody or not show up for work or something would happen where that was your cry for help. And now cries for help come out like to 1,000 people in real time, which is interesting.
Yeah.
It's a very different dynamic.
And obviously, like bad. Like there's no way that this sponsor would ever come back to him. They had already dropped him, I think. So that didn't work out. But at the same time, other sponsors, other people will see this in the news, and they'll be like, "Don't go anywhere close to that guy," because like, and it sucks because obviously he's not in a good position in life,
Yeah,
but at the same time, like you did it to yourself. Like why are you going live? Like
I
going
know.
live as an influencer is work. Like that's your job. That's not your like, oh, I'm chilling with my 50 followers who are my close friends. That's not what that
Well,
is.
that's why it gets
It's
confused because 50 of your closest friends still aren't your friends if they're on Facebook or Instagram, whatever. It's like he's looking at himself through you know, he's only looking at himself while he's recording this. And that's
Yeah.
the sad part, because even when you're sharing all this shit with all these people, you're still alone. And that's the issue
Yeah.
with social media generally. But it just, to me, it's like, yeah, the reason why this is public is something more sad than even what he's saying or what he's acting like. It's like, oh, like it shows that, yeah, what the image is, what the goal that we all have is, like growing and being there on this, you know, social media platform and sharing with our community. Same thing with the sponsors. Like, the sponsors are there for you until you fuck up, and then they're gone, and now you're on your own again. It's like, no matter, all roads lead to you being alone unless you're on point all the time. And that's a lot of pressure for all of us.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. At the same time, I find that, you know, if this is the kind of thing that he actually thinks and feels, and these are the people, and we'll see in this video, because this is where he's addressing like everyone who
Okay.
basically follows him.
I'm ready.
So it's kind of, if that's how he feels about his actual followers, and you know, just like we do sometimes get like donations and stuff, I'm pretty sure that he gets that, you know, people buy his book, like people get like actually invest like into him, and then imagine him calling you like fat and whatever, you feel awful like as a supporter or something, so you probably will step away from ever supporting him. And
Yeah.
it sucks that he managed to like really insult like everyone. Everyone, especially women, because mostly women will be the ones cooking meals. Like, sure, men cook too, I'm not saying they don't, but like when it comes to traditional gender norms, it's women in the family that actually do the cooking most times.
Sure. Yeah, I cook
And he's
for the most
just
part.
gone on to insult all women and be like, you're scruffy cons.
This is what he's going to tell everyone. I'm assuming. I'm going to project.
Unfollow me.
That's what he's going to tell everyone to do.
It's so much worse.
Possibly.
I will actually do something obscene for you.
Dave Hollis sounds like a toy compared to this guy.
Dave Hollis had the PG Disney version of this
Yeah.
guy's BBC
Quite
rant.
literally.
BBC R-rated rant. All right, here it goes. Now, this is on his actual page. This is like raw cut from him.
They actually have so close friends. Fucking hell, else.
Can you raise the captions a bit?
Yeah, they already look like they're not good, but
You got white around your nose, but it's definitely not from a sniff. You've got a polo in your nose. Really?
it's a polo.
I'm starving. There you go, come up shortly. I want the biggest cup. It's only half nine.
Should have meal prepped.
He's high. It's like he's sitting there. Right, I tell you what, I'm gonna wait for John to go back online. Yeah, he's online, yeah. Fucking hell. Really? You must have better things to do. I don't see it. Oh my God. Now I'm thinking about getting one. So you're telling me that I need to come off live and go to sleep, but yet you're the one that kind of fixated to it. If you've got that much of a fucking brilliant life, fucking piss off. Weird. Hey, John, you need to get off live. Really? What are you doing? I'm on live. Shut up. It's weird.
Polos are mints.
Fucking hell. What I want to do is I've got no life of my own, so I want to kind of project it onto you. Fuck me. It's pathetic.
He says doing the same exact thing.
I know, it's like,
It's like, you're literally projecting right now.
yeah, it's like, do you not see that? Like, does he not know? Like, it is such a weird. It makes me feel like this is like a case study almost, like a real time case study. Like, okay, unhinged man gets on Instagram Live, complains how people are so obsessed with him being on live. what am I supposed to do with that? Like, as a therapist, like, what would they say? Like, okay, well, do you see that you also do that? And why are you projecting your feelings onto your followers? They're doing the same thing you're doing. Like, if they're not good enough for you, why are you delivering this content to them?
Yeah, exactly. I think this would be a case even for therapists. They would have to be like, wait, what's going on?
Yeah,
Now, I'm sure they would have more insight than me, but at the same
sure.
time, this is just so, like, it makes so little sense the way just, he's spiraling.
He's
He's
like, why do
literally
you
like
fixate
going
on
with
me?
every thought. Yeah, it's like, why are you alive if you're not
Why do you fixate
fixated
on
with your
you?
audience? Yeah,
Yeah. I guess he just wants people to fawn over him. Like, okay, this is for people who are obsessed with me positively. If you're here negatively or to watch me spiral, then I don't know why you're here. But like, why is he here? Because he's obviously not thriving. So you're not trying to, document a good thing happening in your life. So why are you doing it? It's just like, whoa, it's interesting. My mind is blown. I want to figure this guy out. I can fix him.
it's like story in a frame, in another frame, in another frame.
It's
Like a mirror in front of a mirror, and you get like,
it's like Modern Family, the intro scene where they all have the different frames. It's
yeah,
just that
exactly.
looped into eternity.
Yeah.
God, social media, man. This is our demise. Okay. Let's continue.
Promise me to never go on live drunk.
Yeah, I'll see it. Like, Cam, I'm screenshotting this right now for your own good. Get off. Like, you don't care about me. I'm like, oh no. Here we go.
I will be here reacting to it.
You're like, okay, we're gonna
Kayla
react
has
to
made it on the Cringe-Fluencers.
we're gonna react to my meltdown. Let's analyze this. That would be the most meta thing possible.
Yeah, I would
Our
love
own,
that.
we would no, the most meta thing possible would be us going live to do like an unhinged Instagram live, then another channel covers it as like, oh my god, content, then we take that piece of content and analyze that and what they said about us.
Oh yeah, don't worry. This has been done. Like yeah. There's like reactions to reactions to reactions. In fact, Def Noodles, the one that we just talked about, did something like of the sort recently with people who called him out. So
Interesting. Okay, so it's a genre basically. All right.
well, I mean, he made like we should talk about him sometime. But he's unhinged too. So.
Okay, I'm adding him to the list as we speak.
People keep saying about this show. I actually left Charlotte.
Okay. I don't believe that, sir.
But I don't see the kind of design. 24-hour bender, is it? Well, I mean, you're only jealous because you're going to go to work tomorrow. You fucking scruff. So you've got to get up tomorrow and go to work. Fucking work. And then when you're at work, you're going to, I'm at work. What are you doing? Work? Fucking stiff. Absolute fucking banana. I don't fucking read all this shit.
That's the same thing as Dave saying to the guy, like, I'm sorry you don't have a job. You should buy my book, and then you'll learn how to get some purpose in your life. Like, they hate work. They hate jobs. They're disgusted by jobs.
He talks a lot about the 9 to 5. Like, he hates everyone who has a 9 to 5 is a fucking idiot. But you know what I was just thinking just now? It's just because I'm reading the comments here and people like commenting on Dave Hollis and stuff. Like, the difference is so stark, and it shows like the big difference in culture between the British and the Americans. The British are like, this is the British.
The British version.
Depressed, like very like great, just what you see, great, depressed, like constantly cussing, like very, very badly, extreme cussing. Like they really, really hurt you straight in the soul when they cuss you. They know how to cuss. Let's just say that. And then the Americans, at least like from my understanding of America, which is not a lot, but they're just very like jolly and very like they want to have a good time.
It's repressed down deep in our soul. But we're told to smile because we live in the best country on earth. So you're not allowed to express yourself. But internally, we're all, dead inside as well. I think you guys are more advanced
But when
honestly.
Dave Hollis was having a breakdown, he was just so, like yeah, exactly.
God made me better. I love you guys and my children.
The
Yeah.
difference is like insane between this and Dave Hollis. Like I just even like in Dave Hollis was on the patio of peace, and there was a pool in the background. Look at this guy. There's like this is literally Britain. This is so hilarious to me because this is what I experienced in Britain. Just very dark, especially because in Scotland it's always so dark and
And
everyone is
rainy.
drunk all the time. So um this is typical like 3 p.m. That's what it looks like.
Yeah. Dave's got the patio piece. John, the meal prep guy's got the mom's house of the morbid mom's house or something where he does his breakdowns.
This
Hello,
looks like
guys.
a British scene from Psycho.
Yeah. You know
Like
what?
his mom could be stuffed somewhere out on the other side
Oh
of the
God,
room.
that's gonna be like the twist of this. Like, yeah. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
occupants of this home were no longer breathing. Like, oh God. That because like these breakdowns, sometimes you'll see something like this, and then at the end of it, it's like, oh, yeah, there was a true crime element to it, or like something crazier happened, and this is like now it's been recorded. And now it all makes sense in the context when you're looking back at it. This is sort of
Oh my
concerning.
God, this is foreshadowing.
Right?
Oh no, don't do anything to Charlotte, please.
Yeah.
Just stay in your
Ugh.
lane. Leave Charlotte alone.
Yeah, maybe like him going publicly prevents that from happening because now it's like too obvious who would have, people are on alert now. But sometimes
Yeah.
like when people do crazy stuff, they record on YouTube, they don't have any followers or anything and they'll post stuff, but then like looking back, they're like, "Oh, yeah, you could take context from that piece of content that they made, after the fact." But during, you're like, "I don't know. This guy could just be crazy. Who knows?" It's interesting.
I watched Don't Fuck with Cats on Netflix.
Yes, that's a good
And that
documentary.
was oh gosh, that was crazy. I don't think this is what this is. I think he's literally just like alone and drunk, so he has nothing to do and nobody to talk to. So he was like, I know, I'm gonna go live and talk to my followers. So I don't think he's actually, if anything, it kind of looks like he was hit. So
Yeah.
and I don't think him. Well, I mean, it's not like Britain is perfect or anything, but I think that people are more like keen to call the police, if anything happens. Because people were like, even in the chat, people were like, "Call the police!" What? Call the police? I think you heard him at the beginning, because he was live drunk.
I call the police. You want me to call the police on myself? No. Fuck you. Fucking scruff. I'm gonna start
Stiff?
quoting
What
this in
is
my.
stiff? I mean, I know what stiff means, but I don't know as an insult what that means.
I like the insults. I'm not gonna lie. Like, oh, you banana. You call someone a banana. Oh, you banana. It's like, oh. I'm like, oh, thank you. I'm delicious and rectangular. I don't know. Cylindrical.
Well, you're gonna like what's coming here.
Okay. Oh, okay. I'm excited. Okay. He's got long pauses, this guy.
He's reading
I
comments, but
really-
he's struggling
I really
because
wanna
he's
be
drunk.
Successful. Yeah. What do you need to do to be successful? Yeah. I want to be. I want to be like you. You fucking idiot.
Self-aware king.
Yeah, but you do realise that you're never going to be like me. So you're always going to be a fucking scruffy little fucking trump. Yeah. So, is that going to annoy people? Yeah. So fucking what? If it annoys you, then obviously I'm not the person for you. Crazy.
Are you okay?
Nobody's ever said they want to be like you. Yeah. With like millions of followers, I would suggest that that's actually all the shit.
Bro, you didn't hit the 500,000 yet.
Yeah. Well, who knows? Maybe he's. I don't know.
Maybe like from like all combined together.
Yeah, maybe that's what he means.
Maybe.
But still,
Yeah. Okay.
You see, the thing is, people kind of like they watch social media on a constant basis. You're guilty of it if you're reading this, if you're posting something. They're not even fucking read. I can't even be asked reading it. But if you read stuff, there is a reason. There's a reason that people are successful. It's because they are actually focusing on their own shit and not yours. And what you're doing is like, oh my god, yeah, I think I just want to break. I just want to cry. I want to scream. And it's not. Fuck off. No one gives a shit. All I've just seen there is pleased. That's it. I mean, managed to get on a cutscene. But you can sit, you sat at home, like, you know, your scruffy little house with your own fucking trampy house, and there's loads of shit around your house. You can just tell. And they're going, oh, fucking hell, hang on, who's this meal prep king? You know, he seems like he's got his house together. He seems like he's doing really well. He seems like he's doing this, that, and the other. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and do what he does. Doesn't work for you because you're a fucking tramp. There's a reason for that.
What is
Scalable doesn't work for.
He doesn't mean Trump like Trump president. He just means like that's a different word, right?
I think he means tramp. Like, I don't know
Oh.
what he means.
Lady in the Trump. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's what he means. Otherwise, no, I don't think he means Donald Trump.
I
That
don't
would
think
be a
so. But I'm like,
compliment.
he said it like 18 times. I guess I should ask just to clarify.
Yeah,
Okay, so they're tramps. Okay, so they're
I
like,
think
you know,
so. I'm not
just
sure. I can't
losers.
tell.
Okay.
I think it is.
Okay.
Fucking lazy bastards. He's not a good man whatsoever. Oh my god, please, 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 please. Tempt me as a good man. Who gives a fuck?
Fork.
I love it when people put massive messages. Because all I do is go, chum!
What does that mean?
Why are you insulting
Chum.
people? Because you're all fucking lazy fuckers. Lazy bum bastards. The lot of you. Let me explain something to you, right? So when was the last time that you said, I'm going to actually, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. The meal prep king is going to give me the thing. And then 2 weeks later, you're going, fucking hell. I've got a fucking kebab. It's throwing down my mouth. Piss off. Then
Okay, here's another theory I have about self-help people. We've talked about this before. They all absolutely hate all the people that follow them. Deep down inside. It came out with Dave Hollis when he went on his live and had a meltdown. It came out when Rachel did her toilet gate. It comes out when certain people get pushback from haters or whatever. There's a certain thing where it's like, no, I'm better than everyone else. And that's the difference between me. Because when someone says, like, it's not going to work for me, like what your tips aren't working for the typical person, they freak out and they're like, well, that's because you're lazy, this and da-da-da-da-da. And because they think they're not that and everyone else that follows them is, that's why it doesn't work for them. But that would have to mean that you don't think very highly of the people who follow you, yet you're trying to tell them that you love them. It's very confusing.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I agree with that. I think what is happening is likely that they're very narcissistic people, and I think that they have allowed the positive comments to go to their heads, so they start to believe that they're so much above the rest of people.
Society. Yeah.
But I think with social media, it's very like I don't. Well, first of all, I can't take compliments, so that's one thing. But like I don't think it's like ever because the people watching while they know you, it's only like that hour, that half an hour, that whatever that you're doing the thing. They don't know the
The
rest of the
real
24
you. Yeah.
hours, and so they don't know the real you. But there's just so much more beyond the hour thing, beyond the whatever it is that you can post. Because I can post a video that's half an hour and I can talk about myself, but like when I spend time with my sister, it's a completely, she knows
Yeah.
so
Different
much more. She
experience.
knows a big slice of it rather than like this tiny slice. I think there's that. So that's why when it comes to social media, I think like when you take the compliments or when you take the hate, it can really like affect you if you believe it. Like
Yes.
if either way, like even when you believe the compliments, it can affect you, and it's distorting your sense of who you are and your sense of reality. And I think with negative, and it comes hand in hand with like the negative comments. So when they're getting the positive comments and they're like, oh my god, I'm better than everyone, oh my god, I'm like, whoa. And then you get a comment being like, you just shut up, like someone saying something to him being like, you get outraged because how dare this commoner, this tramp,
Tramp.
like say something to you like that, you're so much more above, like, so it's completely distorted, it makes no sense. But I don't understand why they hate the audience, because like you just literally wouldn't have, like, you wouldn't have a book, you wouldn't have anything if you didn't have that audience. Like, I don't get it, like on a logical basis, don't you have some sort of like gratitude for that? Because like what do you think happened there that made you so successful? If
Yeah.
you could make the best meal preps in the world, if you made them in a void, you get nothing, you get no books, you get nothing.
I wonder that a lot all the time about that, because it's something that Rachel Hollis said in her interview with the Skinny Confidential that we talked about. And there's an episode, if you want to go back and watch the whole thing, we reviewed like the whole, it was like what, an hour long interview. But basically in it, Rachel talks about her cancellation, and like a lot of it was, projecting on her audience that they forced her to be a certain thing that she never really wanted to be. Like, people wanted a boss babe motivational speaker, and that's what they got when they, thought of me. But that's not the real me. I just want to make cool shit with Jon Favreau or whatever she was saying, And I think about that all the time. I'm like, you could do all the things that you say you want to do, but you're not going to be universally worshipped. And that, I think, is her true desire in life. And so, like, you really can't set a goal when other people have to take the action to do it. And that's where I start to go, how dare you, almost, that's how I feel. Like, how dare you set a goal and say, I want to make $1 million, when that $1 million has to come out of someone else's pocket. Like, it's almost like you think you're better than everyone else, that you can set the goal for what other people spend. Like, it's so weird to me. And then at the same time go, I actually don't want to do any of this for you. You're forcing me to. You've made this, person up in your head. It's not even who I am. It's just like, then what are we doing? Why don't you just write a book for yourself then? Or why don't you just write a screenplay to sell it? Like, why do you need to have a community? Like, why do you need to do all this stuff where people are involved and then you hate them? I don't get it, other than they want the money because those people have wallets. That's the only thing I could think of.
Yeah, I think to some extent it's that idea that you post what you want to post, and then something hits the algorithm and hits a multitude of people, and over time you start posting the things that those people want, and less of the things that you want. So for Rachel Hollis, she started as a writer in like narrative fiction, and she wrote like the trilogy, what was it called,
Party girl.
the Party Girl, yeah. And after that's what she was doing and she wanted to do, and then she hit it big with like self-help, and then she started only writing self-help. So I
Yeah.
think there's like a level of resentment that she didn't, that the people out there in the world watching and stuff didn't actually like the thing that she wanted to make. But then at the same time, she didn't have to do the thing, or the self-help thing, or overdo the self-help thing to the point where she grows like resentful of it. Like I think you can, or I hope that you can strike a balance between the thing that you want to do and the thing that is actually getting the numbers and like helping out in the bigger, with bigger numbers or whatever. So
Yeah.
that's the thing that I feel like people do. They just go, in order to be successful, I only need to do the thing that they want, and they stop doing any of the things that they actually like and enjoy. And of course they will grow resentful of it, because they stopped enjoying completely, because they've been chasing the money, they've been chasing the numbers. So I think that this is the only thing that makes sense to me, because otherwise why would they hate the people watching, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that, yeah, I definitely agree. And I also think resentment is the perfect word that sums it up. But I also think, I wonder, at least in the self-help space and even meal prepping too, it's like, it's almost maybe they feel, and I get this sense a lot from these self-help people, in a way, they almost are like, this is too easy. Like I made this money, this massive fortune by telling people to just do it, to just do it, like just do the marathon, or suck it up sissy, like, or whatever, girl, wash your face, like just very, very simple basic ass principles that everyone inherently knows if you've grown up in any sort of society. Like if you read the 10 Commandments, you basically understand, like, okay, don't kill people, don't do this, be nice to people. Like we all sort of know that already, whether you're like really in tune with that or not. You probably know, okay, this will piss people off, this is probably the right thing, and this is like probably the wrong thing. So I wonder if there's a sense of guilt there, or a sense of like, if you're someone who needed my book to change your life and all I said was just try, you probably be like, that person's dumb, and maybe they feel like, wow, like if you like my stuff, which is so stupid and simple, like you probably are a dumb person. Like that's probably what they're thinking in their head at some level, maybe.
Yeah. I wonder if that, because it's and with that's, I just feel like they can't fathom it. They can't fathom that somebody would, like, and that would speak to like a very deep rooted hate, self-hatred, that, which, fair enough, but it's probably also sabotage. Like they just, like you said, they can't believe how easy it was, so they'd have no gratitude for it in the first place, and they don't feel like they deserve it deep down, so they will sabotage.
I wonder too if it like shatters their illusions of who they look up to. Like if they think like Tony Robbins is like the king and he's so great, and like, oh, I would love to be like him just to have the wisdom that he has. And then you get to the level where you're like seeing who he is as a person. You're like, oh, he's just a person. Oh, okay. So we're
Not
all just
only
people.
is he just a person, but he's a trash person.
He's a trash person. And he also likes.
What excites me most is see a person die.
Yeah.
He says things like that. So it's like, oh God. And then you feel like you're alone because all these leaders that you thought were taking care of you are actually just people that don't know what the fuck they're doing either. So that shatters your illusion of like, we're all safe under the leadership of these people that we worship. And it's like scary. So then you try to like figure that out somehow through your work. And then you start hating the people who like you because you're like, oh, I'm someone who likes other people. I hate myself. So now I hate you. Projection.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, totally. I agree. And I think this is this is reminiscent of like people like kind of dropping religion and stuff, because they probably go through the same. You kind of realize you're alone. And I think at the very bottom of like everything and every insecurity that we all have, that's the biggest one. Like just being alone. And I think that's what you realize. You're just like this guy. Like he's got the money, or he I don't know how much he makes, but he definitely makes a lot more than me. So maybe he doesn't make 150K like he said. Maybe that was an inflated number, but he makes money, and he's alone. He's here on live having a breakdown because he's alone. If there was a girlfriend, if there was a child there, if there was someone there, they would have probably stopped him from this life.
Or a sense of like self-esteem that's high enough to go, I'm not gonna, my life's long, I got a lot of things I want to do, I'm not gonna ruin it on this Instagram live that's meaningless. But you know, we are.
Let's keep watching a little bit, because I think this is I'm just so sorry, but I'm having fun with this.
It sort of looks like, I know there's a missing R here, but like when you look at it all together, it looks like thermal prepking. Thermal prepking. I'm like, oh, could be like a science company.
New weight loss.
Try my new thermal prepking. It'll prep you to be thermal.
Not many people can go and take that kind of scrutiny, because like, you said that. Was it the truth? Yeah. And a conversation.
What, John? What? Sorry, fixing ourselves.
I love getting messages off fat people. Because I always said to them, how much do you weigh? Well, I weigh, I think, about 15 stone. I told you, I'm 5 foot. Really? So you're a fucking mammoth of like this tall. And then you want to blame everybody else. And then when some people message me, all they do is like, honestly, you've literally show. It's bad. It's really bad. The fact that you fucking pointed out, it's terrible. It's like, bleh, I want to be sick. Can't even read that. I just heard the word Trump. They go too quick, so I don't read them.
Trump.
Okay.
I'm committed to 8 weeks. No, that's gone. We probably in the pot. That's gone. Can't even read them. I'm looking at investors, minted. 1.75 million was raised, by the way, with that. There's the oriental. Can't be asked. Stop fucking embarrassing yourself. If you're fat and overweight, sort your shit out. Stop fucking making excuses. I'm fat. I'm overweight. Look at the size of me. What I'm going to do. Oh my God. Yeah, there's a reason for that. Yeah, but what am I going to do? You're fat. You fucking sort your shit out. Done and dusted.
Done and dusted.
Nobody
I love
feels
that
that.
phrase.
I can't be asked reading that.
Done and dusted.
Well, I can't read dyslexic. Is that weird blonde person still saying the same things? Yeah.
I was not on this one, but on the other live, I was constantly commenting, be like, "Shut up! We don't care about your money."
He's getting personally triggered by your comments.
I don't think he saw them because drunk, but
Yeah.
I was there just joining the mob. I loved it.
You're like, this is the experience that I've been waiting for all my life to be in a live. Oof. I did watch some of the Dave Hollis stuff live. I didn't comment, but I was watching it in real time, as they say, because I was recording it as it was happening, which is crazy.
Yeah.
It's a special moment.
Yeah.
Special moment in every
definitely.
girl's life where you watch an influencer break down over Instagram.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I think what you said was so true. Like, we all kind of come to the conclusion maybe, or if there is someone who starts to feel badly, it's like you do feel like you're alone. And I feel like this guy, this is his response of like coming to that conclusion. Like he is alone and that sucks. And like, he's just going to take it out on everybody. Just fuck you guys. It doesn't matter.
It's funny that he's having this like such a strong reaction because William is saying in the comments, like if you are a weight loss influencer, you are literally, the other coin of it is people who need to lose weight.
Mm-hmm. Or he has no audience and no $15 million or $150,000. Yeah. But they resent it so much. What is that? It goes across the board, I think. Honestly, I get the vibe from all of these influencers that they hate the people they must interact with. And is it because it's a means to an end? Like they have to do it. So therefore it's like any job. Like if you could be passionate about, numbers or math, but as soon as you have to do it for 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, it becomes a nightmare. Like, is that what it is? Maybe.
I don't think that's what it is. I think that I believe that they push themselves or force themselves to say things, I love you guys so much, for like years, and just like put this like facade on, and they have to be so nice, and they go live, and obviously there's people like in this guy's case, there's people like commenting, be like, what the fuck is this? So they have to just constantly keep a smile on, and I think it breaks at one point, and they're just
can't do it.
They start to hate it, and then it turns into a forced thing where they're like, okay, I'm gonna go live, I'm gonna be as nice as I could possibly be, and they feel fake because they are fake. And I think in somewhere in this, you start to hate it, like you start to really hate it, like deep down,
It bleeds into your real life. Like maybe you have separation, like okay, like when I used to do camera stuff, like go into work and like do on camera presentations of whatever we were talking about when I was in journalism, like I didn't talk the same way. I knew that was, it's sort of like acting, like a child actor versus a child influencer. Like a child actor knows, like I'm on set. The director has said action, like now I'm working. And when he says cut, I'm no longer working. Like it's a very clear cut way to go, okay, I can put that aside. Whatever happened, happened. Like that persona is done. When you're doing this stuff that morphs into, hey, here's my life. Hey, here's my children. Hey, here's my kitchen. There's nobody telling you, okay, you can now go back to who you are. And maybe those blurred lines are what starts to like, we have never lived through this as humanity, as far as I know, you know, unless there was some lost ancient society that had technology. Like, so this is all new, you know, these people, this guy at his age, we don't have a roadmap to see what people, when they become, I don't know, how old is this guy, 50? Like when a 50-year-old becomes sort of like unhinged and has a public platform. Like this is the first time we're seeing this. And we don't know if there's like a disorder that comes from that mentally, like influencer disorder. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah.
It could be,
I mean,
you know?
could be in a few years, like added to the to the
DSM.
B, what's it called? The cluster B personality.
Influenceritis.
That's hilarious. But it could be. And I think that it's particularly like that with people who grow fast, because all of these, like even Rachel Hollis, like she blew up. Like I think there's a thing in like blowing up, keep doing what you hate, because that's the thing that's, or not that you hate, but you once liked, but then you had to continuously only do that because you're chasing the money and the numbers. So you start to hate it, and at the same time you haven't had that like slow burn of like growing and like just, because I've never seen, or I don't know if never, but like rarely have I ever seen like an influencer who grew very slowly for years and just like pushed through and worked really hard,
Yeah.
that actually goes and blows it like that. Like every time this happened, it was like with like the guys from Vine, with Gabby Hanna, with Jake Paul, with like Logan Paul, because they went from Vine to YouTube. They blew up really fast, and I think they were big on Vine, but it was nothing like YouTube.
Yeah.
And
definitely not
and
financially.
then
Yeah.
they shot themselves in the foot. But with people who were like slow burn, like what's her name, Jenna Marbles? No, I forget, the biggest influencer ever who quit.
Jenna
Um,
Marbles, yeah.
oh yeah, Jenna Marbles. I thought I had it wrong. Sorry. Jenna Marbles, for example. I mean, she did like essentially like quit YouTube 2 years ago, was it? But um, like the things that she said were problematic were nowhere near like the level of Jake Paul or anything. You
Or
know,
Shane
like,
Dawson,
or Shane Dawson or anything.
who's back.
And
Yeah.
I don't know if there's something in that, because they kind of slowly built that audience and slowly learned how to do it, you know, how to do, I don't know if that's the reason, but it kind of seems like whenever they get this fast track to success or
Yeah.
something, it's very easy to lose it too.
Yeah, I definitely. And I think that's evident. I just don't think human minds are, in any mind, you know, humans definitely, but anything is meant to know this many people, is meant to be seen by this many people. Like, we haven't caught up to technology. Our brains have not evolved past. Like, when we were born, you know, you had to be on television to be seen by this many people. And that involved a whole bunch of professional equipment and radio waves, and it was expensive to make. So those people were limited, and they were hidden, because once they got off set or did whatever, they were home. You didn't know what the repercussions of feeling like that were. But even look at like a Marilyn Monroe, that ended in tragedy, and that was like before things were even really booming in Hollywood, you know? So there's like, I think we're like proceeding because we think like, oh, the success, there's someone out there that has succeeded in this in a healthy way. And I don't know if that's true. I think it's like, once you're seen like that in front of a billion people, and the more intimate it is, the worse it is for you. I don't know if I think maybe something breaks in your brain. You're just never going to be the same unless you get some like deep therapy and go away from the limelight. I don't know though. I mean, I can't think of one person I'm like, yeah, they're super uber famous and they're totally fine.
No, I I can't say that I know either.
You
Um,
know, even like
so
they said that Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie were like fighting on an airplane. I just saw that newspaper article come up, and I'm like, can you imagine that? Like, I would think my life would be in totally. I'd be like, wow, I've really got off the hinge here. I'm fighting now with my partner on an airplane. But like all these other issues make sense because I'm like a loser. But like someone who's so successful and like is beautiful and loved and adored still does those things. It doesn't make sense.
yeah, and I think with the regular celebrities, I can't even like fathom what that is like, because
Mm-hmm.
people like come up to them and like try to get in their houses, and like,
Mm-hmm.
like Johnny Depp talked about that, but basically I think it's a whole new level where they just like have to block. They
Yeah.
block anything that the newspapers say, anything that people say. But now it's become like a bit different recently, because now people really ask for reparations lately. I think, I don't know if cancel culture has made it this way. I personally am, I know it's controversial, but I'm not exactly against cancel culture. I don't think it works, but it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like a momentary thing. It works in the moment, but then I've seen so many of them be canceled, and they come back like they
Yeah,
still get
stronger.
millions of views, and like
Mm-hmm.
sometimes even stronger. Yeah, sometimes like the algorithm likes them, and like
The
so
controversy did them well because now they're like, known by more people. Yeah.
yeah, Kim Kardashian, like she does like all the, I just made a video about this that will go out later today, but she has done so many things to upset so many cultures. So she's cultural appropriation, like right, left and center, since, I mean, it's probably gone like even further, but I traced it back to 2017. So it's like
Hmm.
a lot of these things have helped her in her career, and including the way that she came to fame through like a porn movie and stuff.
But think
So
about how that makes that person feel too. Like, regardless of that stuff, like, so you think of the actual trajectory and go, wow, when I was more problematic, when I caused more people harm, it benefited me financially. It benefited me with other people liking me more. How does that make you feel at night? Probably not very good. Probably like the same like this guy. Like, oh, I'm just like telling people to meal prep. But in reality, like it's other issues that's causing them to be overweight or causing them to feel the way that they feel about themselves. It has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with anything I'm doing. It's all pointless. Like I think that's this guy's coming to is sort of the wrap up is like he's just decided like none of this fucking matters.
yeah, I think it's kind of like what's it called, like a self, I don't know what it's called. It's like a loop essentially. Like I do this problematic thing, people like, this boosts my numbers, this whatever. Then I get more people, then I get more money, then I do another problematic thing. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like they keep reinforcing the same idea that the more bad things I do, well, at
It
least not
works.
in all cases, but in Kim Kardashian's case for sure. Like, because unless she does something problematic to gain traction, like she's not really in the news anymore. So
Mm-hmm.
she needs to do that almost. So I think this is why they end up hating the people at the end, because they're like,
You're causing me to feel bad and you're actually my life sucks and the only reason I'm able to do this is because people are like wanting this. So it's this
yeah,
weird relationship of like if people wanted me to be healthy then I wouldn't have this lifestyle but I would probably be healthier of a person. And so it's
yeah,
like this never-ending addiction. It's like if drugs didn't exist, well then I wouldn't be a drug addict, but they're there, so now I gotta just do them or like figure out a way to get out of it. I don't know, but that's not an option. But the reason that there's fans there for this type of content, it's always like it's an addiction, I think, in a way too. It's like you can't just cut it off. You have to have help to be able to stop needing that attention once you got it.
yeah. And I think when you throw money into the mix,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't know because I never had made any substantial money from YouTube. But when you probably throw like a lot of money into the mix, like it's no longer just the attention. Now it's like, ooh, I can
My
get a bigger house. I
lifestyle,
can get a bigger, like, whatever. And
security.
that's, yeah. So I
Mm-hmm.
think they start chasing, lifestyle inflation and all that stuff. Like it's just never enough.
Mm-hmm.
And even as rich as Kim Kardashian is, there's always some guy with like more, or some girl with more, and
Sure.
they start. to go into that. I think I believe that money probably has a lot of it's almost like the root cause of all of that, because like with, if it was just for the attention, then it would be only the narcissists that would actually get anywhere, because
Sure.
they just thrive off of the attention, and bad and negative and
Doesn't matter.
positive, and they, that, yeah, it's just the attention and they would love it. But like, I don't think it's just a narcissist. I think it's also like regular people, but they just love the money, and like,
It's
you know,
enticing. It's very
yeah,
enticing. It's something that,
probably,
yeah, it's like money is very important, unfortunately,
yeah,
to all of this, because it's freedom. It's getting out of jail, literally. Like if you go to jail and you have your bail money, you are free. If you don't, you are sitting in behind a jail cell for, without being charged, or without, well, you'd be charged, but without being convicted for years. And that's crazy when you think about it. Like, just what's the difference between person A and person B? Money. That's it. So when there's
yeah,
a chance to make a bunch of it, it's hard as a human to turn it down, because it could be so meaningful for you and everyone you love and care about, because you could then help them potentially as well. So I think it gets sort of like overlooked as like, yeah, it's cause for addiction. It's cause of panic. It's cause of a lot of things, especially if you've lived a life where you don't have it and you feel how hard it is to make it from that bottom place. If you have a chance to make money, you are crazy not to try. But
yeah.
then it brings in all these emotions that are unhealthy.